Right now at 11, Massachusetts House lawmakers overwhelmingly approved a controversial gun reform bill. It requires live firearm training for gun owners who are applying for a license to carry. It restricts guns in schools, polling places, and government buildings. And it extends protections to block school administrators, doctors, or employers who pose a risk to others from carrying a gun. The state Senate is working on its own gun reform bill.
The state of Massachusetts throws its temper tantrum over the Bruen ruling. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And if you like my channel, like my content, and what I do here, you can support me with the link in the description box. Everything is appreciated. Let's talk about this. Now, this is breaking news today. The Massachusetts House has passed another set of sweeping gun control legislation, and they openly admit that this is in response to the Supreme Court's 2022 Bruen decision. So they're throwing a tantrum and basically retaliating against the Supreme Court for basically standing with the Constitution. You saw the video there, and once again, law-abiding citizens are being held accountable for the behavior of criminals while these people exploit death under the guise of safety. I'm going to come into here. Massachusetts House approves sweeping bill tightening firearms laws. The Massachusetts bill will crack down on assault-style weapons and unregistered ghost guns because that's going to prevent crime. And here it is. In response to a 2022 Supreme Court decision that rules citizens have the right to carry guns in public, the Massachusetts House has approved a sweeping bill tightening firearm laws in the state. And that's pretty much every majority Democrat-run state. That's their answer to everything. We create more laws. More laws that do nothing but allow us to create more laws on top of it. Under the measure, the state will crack down on unregistered guns and prohibit visitors from carrying a firearm into another person's home without permission. Well, if you go into somebody else's home in Massachusetts, they're probably going to know you're a gun owner, and you're going to know they're probably a gun owner too, because, you know, birds of a feather. So why are they going to have a problem with you coming to their house with a gun? But the bill will now head to the Massachusetts Senate, which may come up with its own version of the measure. Now, unfortunately, Massachusetts is a majority Democrat state. That's why they can get away with crap like this. The Massachusetts House approved a sweeping gun bill Wednesday aimed at tightening firearm laws, cracking down on unregistered ghost guns, and strengthening the state's assault-style weapons ban. Excuse me. The bill, which passed on a 120-138 vote, would also prohibit individuals from carrying a gun into a person's home without their permission and require key gun components to be serialized and registered with the state. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean exactly? The upper receiver has to be serialized. The bolt has to be serialized. Each round of ammunition has to be serialized. This is a slippery slope because they're not telling you. The 125-page bill, a priority for Democrat Massachusetts House Speaker Ronald Mariano, is in part a response to a 2022 U.S. Supreme Court ruling that U.S. citizens have a right to carry firearms in public for self-defense. The proposal will create new laws that bar firing guns at or near homes and outlaw carrying firearms while intoxicated. That's common sense. It would also prohibit carrying firearms in school, polling places, and government buildings. The bill expands the state's ban on assault weapons by prohibiting new purchases of AR-15 style weapons. It would also ban some from turning into a legal firearm into an illegal automatic weapon, which is already a violation of law, federal law as it stands. But once again, the proposal includes an enhanced system to track firearms used in crimes to help curb the flow of illegal guns into the state. It would also modernize the existing firearms registration system while increasing the availability of firearm data for academic and public policy use, lawmakers said. Remember, New York did this. They did it for years and spent millions of dollars and did not solve one crime from that database, not one. And they completely abandoned it. But these people have no problem pissing away taxpayers' money. Massachusetts which already has tough gun laws, had the lowest rate of gun deaths in the country at 3 deaths per 100,000 people in 2021, compared to Mississippi, which had the highest rate at 33.9 deaths per 100,000 people. Okay, how many people live in Massachusetts and how many people live in Mississippi? Let's go with total numbers. Okay, Massachusetts, this is a 2022 count, had 6,981,974 persons. Mississippi had 2,940,057. Immediately, Massachusetts has technically 3 times the number of people in their state than Mississippi does. It's that old adage. See, this is flawed math. This 100,000 per 100,000, I find it to be flawed math. They're saying that if Mississippi had the same number of people as Massachusetts, they both had let's just round it off, 6 million people, that Mississippi's gun deaths would go up accordingly. That's a bunch of crap. You don't know. That's an unknown coefficient. That's nonsense. But that's how they play that game. Okay? But the state Senate has yet to release its version of a gun bill. It would be up to both Democrat-led chambers to hammer out a single bill to ship to Democrat Governor Maura Healey's desk for her signature before it can become law. Gun owners opposed to the bill say the measure outlining the legislation do more to target gun owners than to reduce crime, because that's the point. That is the point. Gun control is not about crime. Period. Quote, all it does is go against us, the lawful people. There's nothing in there that goes after the criminals, said Jim Wallace, executive director of Gun Owners Action League. Wallace also said the bill is an overreaction to last year's Supreme Court decision. It's a temper tantrum. There you go. This is a tantrum. This is a flat-out tantrum, he said. It is. Supporters of the bill, the delusional, say it will help to address holes in the state gun laws while responding to the Supreme Court ruling. So they're admitting that they're basically pulling a tantrum over the Bruen ruling. One response is a measure in the bill that prohibit guns in safe spaces such as schools, polling places, and state houses, said Jennifer Robinson from the Massachusetts chapter of Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. The same, I believe it's the same Moms Demand Action who praised Joseph Goebbels. Yeah, that kind of puts them in perspective, doesn't it? But Robinson said the bill also contained what she called common sense steps. That's just code word for basically we're just trying to circumvent the Second Amendment. But, quote, we believe that if you're going to have a license for a gun, you should have live fire training, much like if you're going to drive a car. We don't just throw you the keys at you and walk away, she said. She also pointed to a section of the bill that would transfer to the state police the responsibility of inspecting gun dealers. Well, here's the thing there, Jennifer. Show me in the Constitution where it says you have a right to drive a car. Doesn't exist. There's the problem right away. It's like saying you got to get a license to basically speak your mind. You must have an English degree to be, to be able to express your First Amendment rights. Nonsense. But there it is. And this right here, if this passes, which is a good chance it will, this will make Massachusetts the most restrictive state in the union. And it's like I said, I've said this before, it's like a race to the bottom. California, Connecticut, New York, Oregon sometimes, but those states are all in this huge rush to pass the most restrictive gun laws in the country to say, look at us, we're leading the way to nothing as crime continues. We had HB 6667 passed here in Connecticut with further restrictions, and gun crime just is still on the rise. We had a shootout on an interstate highway where one man was killed. Okay, so that's a bunch of nonsense, but hopefully this will produce a lawsuit, and in light of Bruen and the lawsuits that are already in play, hopefully this will be overturned because it is unconstitutional. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.